Hey everybody, my name's Bob. This is my backyard. We're back in the shop again today. I need to make a workbench suitable for my press. I have a press for doing wheel bearings and stuff like that, and it's on a 36-inch high counter that's too high. That puts the actual area that I'm pressing in at 5 feet. So I'm reaching 6 foot something up to grab the handle to work the press. So I need to drop that down about 5 inches, so I'm just going to build a whole new table. Now, I've got a tabletop I made that was on the drill press bench. It is this right here. I made this years ago, same time I was making the workbench. And basically it's just a top, 1.5 inches thick, something you can drop an engine on or whatever you want to do, and it won't hurt it. So I'm going to reuse it, and I'm using rough cut lumber that I made on the mill while I was learning. And I'm going to show you mistakes I made and show you a way to counteract it. So if you got a board or something that somebody cut and it's crooked, you'll be able to fix it up easy. Anyways, let's get a close-up. Now, this board here, it's 1.25 inches thick. I'll probably plane it down and make it into the shelf parts. But I've got a 2.25 inch piece here that I'll be making into the frame parts. And the frame parts will end up looking similar to this. I'll use the thickness planer and everything and plane them all down. And that was staining something else. Anyways, I don't know how well you can see this, but I'm going to throw a straight edge against that. This is a piece of shiplap I made, and see that? See all this is in and out like a wave? That's caused, when I was milling, that was caused by the couple of factors. The band on the saw was a little loose, and I didn't have the wheel alignment correct. This was out of one of the first logs I milled when I first got the mill, be 2 years ago now, and I'd never sawn a log before that. I always had them sawn for me. So, old guy learning new tricks. Anyways, that's all twisted, and like I said, I don't know how well you're going to see that in the video, but it's pretty twisted. So, I shouldn't say twisted, it's in and out. It's just like a wave. So, when you're milling, speed, blade tension, and patience. Everything's got to be checked over, adjusted, and to get it right. So anyways, I was learning. This was a mistake I made. So we know we're going to have short pieces, and I know I spent the time and I did just a rough sketch. My rough sketches are very rough. I have wheels to go on the bottom. These wheels are solid plastic. I'll make sure you can see that. Those wheels are solid plastic. Okay? So they'll take weight. And we're going to make the carcass or whatever, the carcass of the bench. We're going to make it fit that tabletop. So it's going to be the carcass will be 38 inches by 24 inches by 22.5 high. And then once I have it together, I'll figure out how many shelves I'm putting on it. I'm going to have one in the bottom for sure. That'll also give it strength for to keep it square and everything. And then the rest will be what it is. So, first things first, I'm going to take, back to first things first. This has been air dried. It has not been in a kiln or anything like that. Remember, I don't have a kiln. So, I have the moisture meter, right? And it's set to building material. So, push it in there. Now, this dried outside for 6 months. And it's been inside the shop, dead stacked, for 6 months. And there you go. We're at 2.3. That's pretty dry. I think we're safe to use it. That's on the outside. When I get this plane down and we get a layer off, we'll check it again. Okay? So like I said, first things first. We got that done. Oh, by the way, today is February 25th. Okay, we're looking at we're looking at a newer truck. Anyways, back to the video. So, we'll set this aside. We already know I'm going to need 4 uprights, 22.5. So, we're going to go, and I say so a lot. I know I do. So I need 2 pieces off of this, 22.5. So I'm going to go more than 22. I'm going to just cut it at 24. And I got a knot here, so I'm going to come past that knot, and I'm going to cut, let's see, that was 22, so I need 2 more pieces, so 45 would be 2, so if I go, say, let's give it 48. I'm not worried about waste. I just want to make sure that I'm reasonable with my wood, right? So we're going to give it just a rough, this side straighter than this side. So I'm just going to give it a square line off of that. And then I'm going to come over here where I got this pencil mark, and I'm going to give it a square line off of that. Now, back this up, throw my block of wood underneath it, and I'm just going to skill saw it off. Now, that is what you call a rough cut. You're only making a skill saw cut. You don't need to hold a square against it or anything like that. You need to learn how to use a skill saw without those other devices. Now, ripping the length, I'm going to use a straight edge. I'm going to square this edge up and then run it through the table saw to make my cuts. Right? But doing a cross cut, you should be able to use a skill saw good enough for that without having to use anything. If you can't, that's what the chop saw is for. Or a radial arm, or something along those lines. But right now, if we're doing this, we'll just use a skill saw. When I go to do the other, I'll be making it perfect with the sliding compound miter. Okay, so that's 2 pieces out of that one. I'll get 2 pieces out of that. And then front to back, we're going to need roughly 24 inches. Now, depending on how thick I make the members, if I make the members 3 inches, clamp this puppy down this time. Make sure it doesn't shift on me. Okay. Let's make sure you guys are back where you can see pretty much what I'm doing. Okay, so excuse me for a minute. 2 3/8, 8 3/8. Okay. So this is at 9.5. Let's go 9. Let's go 9 1/4. Bring this up. Okay, so that was pretty basic, right? So this is a table saw, straight edge skill saw. You don't need a lot of tools. Come on in. And I take it off the bench. I just use number 8s with a dimpled fender washer because that's the fender washers I have. And then I just leave the screws inside. Right? Ideally, it would be nice to have it on its own bench with wheels. Maybe someday. Not right now. I have too much stuff in this shop as it is. If I get the carport built that I want, some of this stuff will be going out to the carport. And then that will give me a car space and 2 motorcycle spaces and an ATV space in here where I don't have that in the way. And maybe I'll have there goes my phone. Probably my wife again. Man, that really hurts the knee. I got too much going on today. We've been looking at trucks, and my wife's been doing all the shopping on them. Keeps throwing numbers at me, and I keep missing what I'm doing. Like I said, I'm short one piece. Hey everybody, I'm back. It's been 2 days since I was working on this table bench / press stand, and I have a cold now. I'm sick. But we're going to press on. I spent 1 day driving to Peterborough and back, 1 day driving to Barrie and back, and I ended up buying a truck. So, I know I'm not telling them. My friends that watch the channel, I bought a truck. Okay, I've screwed this together. So I've got the one end as it should be. There was a change in the weather. We actually had rain, so that's kind of put a maybe a little damper on things, I would say. So anyways, I've got this so it's standing up. I'm going to put this end so it's standing up, and I'm going to just leave it like that. I'm not screwing it in yet. I'm going to put the tabletop on, and then I'll fasten the tabletop to this. Let's get you. Oh, I'll fasten the tabletop part to this, And then that will give it some bearing. As long as that's holding roughly tight, we should be okay. You see, I got wiggle room to push the sides in and out. So I figured, what was it, ½ inch? I think it was, this is supposed to be 38, and this is 39. So I mark ½ inch here, and this is the back, so it's going against the wall. 39, up there like that, right? Short clamp. Clamp that in place, right? And then, tell you, I don't know where I caught this. I did come into contact with a whole bunch of people, and I'm not used to going out that much anymore and coming into contact with people. So, that could be it. I don't know. You know when you're trying to not to sneeze and your eyes are squinting, it makes it hard to look at things. Okay. That's a half. One more clamp. Okay. Now, I'm still drilling for plugs. I like using the plugs because it finishes it off, hides everything. Be quite honest though, just because you think something's a good idea doesn't always mean it isn't. Okay, that one just sailed right in. clamps off. We're going to take this and we're going to flip it over, and then we'll fasten the bottom pieces across. And I'm going to get a couple of bar clamps. Bar clamps are a must for any shop. You need at least 2. Unless you're gluing stuff up, then you need a shit ton. Right? Sometimes they work good. Sometimes you gotta fight with them. But if you go 48-inch bar clamps, and you know, you can do a lot with like 4 of them. You can do a lot of different things, but I would go at least 48, because if you're making any kind of tabletop, most tables are 36. So as long as you're bigger than, you're usually good, right? Come on. And this is the problem with the bar clamps. They stick. And when they're cold, they stick more. If they get glue in them, they really stick. Sometimes they stick just to stick. Just going to clamp it close. You can adjust it with a rubber mallet if you're worried about hammer marks. And remember, this is just a rough bench. It's not going to be perfect. All it is for holding the press, right? So, you drill your hole where you're going to miss. You get 2 in it. Hey everybody, I got the front view on the camera to work so I can actually see myself now. That's amazing, isn't it? Like I say, sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I had a bunch of dead spots in the video when I was editing the video, and I thought, well, I'd come back out here and show you a few things that transpired that didn't get filmed. So I thought I had some nice shots over top while I was putting the wheels on and stuff like that. All that was gone. So anyways, when I put the bar clamps on, and then I drilled, put these in, right? So they're in there good and solid. I have the wheels on, and I use a low root screw, which means a really coarse thread, to put these on with, so they'll stay on a little better. All that movement's all in the bearing. I'll probably oil the bearing before I flip it back over, just so it's been done with some white lithium or something. Now, when we go down here to here, I added these triangular blocks in because they give it side strength, right? Instead of having to put a bar across the whole thing, right? So those are the 2 things I did. And don't worry about this rough surface, because again, that's underneath. So that's not really, it's like that don't matter. It's underneath. Out of sight, out of mind, right? So then, see, there's the table. Rolls. I know it rolls a little bit too much. I don't have locking wheels, but for the press up against the wall, if it becomes an issue of rolling out, I can always put some sort of stop in front along the wheel so it doesn't come out from the wall while we're using it 2x4 or something, right? But it's really hard. I'm going to say it's really hard when you're filming and the camera screws up, but you've been checking it and making sure that it's recording, but it doesn't seem to stay recording, or it does record and the disc says it's got a corrupt space on it, which makes it frustrating because when I film something, I can't go back and refilm it usually because I'm not taking everything apart to show anything, because it's too hard to do all that, right? And especially if I was using glue and stuff, man, you'd have to start from fresh. And I hope people understand and appreciate the effort sometimes to go into making a video, especially right across the board, all the other channels. Some of them put a lot more effort than I do, but I mean, a lot of them put really good effort into it to get the quality they have. I'm still learning how to run this channel, and I really appreciate everybody's support. Please like, subscribe, and share. It helps me out. It'll get me out to more people, which means the channel will grow. And if there's anything that you people want to see, stuff like this, I know when I go to do the shop ceiling and the walls, I'll be filming all that, how I go through the process of making stuff. I may not do the whole thing for video, but I'll do a bunch of it just so you see, and then show you progress as it goes, because we're talking a lot of work in here for one man, and I'm going to have to get my helper to help me once in a while, and he won't want to be on camera. So that's one of those things, right? Anyhow, I hope you enjoyed the show. And like I say, if there's any ideas you guys want to see, let me know. I'm more than happy to see if I can't do something about it. Questions, I'll try to answer them. Comment, be nice in the comments, because you never know what come back and bite you in the ass, right? So I'll see you next week. I'm not sure what it's going to be about. It'll be about something, but I'm not sure. And that snow's gotta go. Anyways, you take care, enjoy the week, and we'll see you next week. Bye.